Saints quarterback Derek Carr has retired. As senior NFL writer Jeremy Fowler joins us now. He had revealed that he had actually injured his shoulder late in last season, was contemplating surgery. So how did he come to this decision?
Yeah, Hannah, really for the last 5 to 6 weeks, the Saints and Derek Carr have been trying to figure out what's best and how to proceed with this shoulder issue, which tests revealed, as the Saints just said, a labral tear and degenerative damage to his rotator cuff, potentially. So these are major issues. You imagine trying to throw on that. So really before then, the feeling was like, hey, we restructured his contract. We can move forward with Derek Carr, even though there was some talk about a potential trade at one point. That never happened. So it seemed at one point in the offseason he was going to be the quarterback in 2025. So really when he started throwing again, then he felt the issue, talked to the Saints, reported it. They tried to shake this out. You know, I think the Saints in a perfect world hoped that he could maybe rehab to health. It just seems like that was not in the cards. So after 11 seasons, he is retired.
Wow. Big picture, looking at his career, how would you describe his legacy?
You know, his legacy is probably underrated in a lot of ways. You know, I've actually recently talked to people with the Raiders and with the Saints, you know, because I was trying to get a grasp of his career because of all the turmoil around what was going on with the Saints and the uncertainty here, which eventually resulted in this. And the feeling was, he constantly had different head coaches. He constantly had different coordinators. We saw again, last year he was close with Clint Kubiak, his offensive coordinator. Now Kubiak leaves, Kellen Moore in. He always was dealing with constant change. And really he's viewed as a very talented quarterback, a very good quarterback, maybe not a breakthrough quarterback that got you over the hump. And I think the Raiders felt that, like, hey, we gave it a run. It just didn't work overall in the end. But very productive player, always a consummate professional. And played, you know, he was a tough guy. He played through injuries. It took this kind of serious injury to eventually knock him out. But most every year he was 15, 16 games in.
Yeah, and through very difficult times with the Raiders, he often had to speak on behalf of the organization and handled that really well. I just want to say they have 3 guys now, right? So they draft Tyler Shuck. In the second round, they have Spencer Rattler. They have Jake Haener. Who's the next quarterback of the Saints? What's it looking like?
Well, Shuck, with his experience, played a lot of years in college. He's older, in his mid-20s. He was coveted by a lot of teams in the draft, picked 40th overall. He's got higher billing than, say, Spencer Rattler, who right now would be the backup or maybe the 1A, but he was a 5th-round pick. Some people in the building are high on Rattler as well, so they're going to play this out. It's been interesting, the existence in the Saints quarterback room and offensive rooms lately, because they thought maybe Derek Carr could play, but they really were just talking to him more as a person than they were like game planning. So Carr really hasn't been a part of a lot of the football talks of late. So it's been like young guys in a quarterback room trying to mold that room together, see what they can do. And Tyler Shuck, they're really high on him. Assuming things go well in the next 3 or 4 months, there's no reason why he can't see the field in 2025 because of the pedigree and the experience he already comes in with.
I mean, not see the field. What about, is this a guy that it's thought could start from week 1?
They hope so. I mean, the Saints did a ton of work on quarterbacks in the draft. They looked hard at Jackson Dart, but felt like number 9 overall would be a little high for them where they were picking in the first round. So early second round, they targeted Shuck, who has got some arm strength. He's got some major ability.
Yep. All right. Derek Carr ending a career, and we certainly wish him well.
Former Louisiana running back Emory Hunt, both Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel looked good in their first NFL practice. Emory, who do you think will separate himself in this crowded quarterback room in Cleveland?
It'll be Shedeur Sanders, and I've said this since Ben. When you think about who can thrive in chaotic situations, no one has been more prepared to do that than Shedeur Sanders. You go back to Jackson State the first year without Travis Hunter. Then you go to Colorado the first year when everyone just kind of laughed at Deion Sanders taking this power forward job. He's going to get creamed. And they go out there and he put up 500 yards and 5 touchdowns in the upset win over TCU. So no one is more prepared for this situation than a Shedeur Sanders. But what I like about this for both quarterbacks is the fact that this is a true open competition. So if you're Dillon Gabriel, you have experience more so than Shedeur because you played 6 years at 3 different big-time programs, and you put a lot of things on tape. And so now, because you're in a preseason situation, when you're 2 rookie quarterbacks, Joe Flacco's probably going to play a series, if that, and Kenny Pickett's probably going to play 2 series. So you 2 guys will get ample time to put together some great tape in the preseason, which not only bodes well for your chances to not only start, but also start somewhere else and drive up your value. So I love this for both guys, but if I had to pick one, it would be Shedeur Sanders because I had a higher grade on him, and I think his touch timing, anticipation, accuracy, situational football just grades out tremendously, and it shows itself up on film in any situation.
Whoever can deliver, that's all I care about as a Browns fan. Doesn't matter who it is. Shedeur Sanders, Colonel Sanders, Deion Sanders come to a game. He can throw the football if he wants to. Just figure it out and get some wins and put the Browns back on the map. Another quarterback looking to take charge at rookie minicamp, Jackson Dart. The Giants traded back into the first round to take the Ole Miss quarterback. He was slinging it at camp on Friday, competing with two veterans, former Browns quarterback Jameis Winston and the Super Bowl winner Russell Wilson. When Dart visited the Giants before the draft, he put on a clinic. Take a look.
If I said gun, diesel right, 56, F my canner, who's running the shallow? The F. Who's running the curl? The X. Running the post? The Z. Who's running the middle? The Y. Good. All right. Let's play one more game. All right. Turn around. All right. Turn. Toss. If you would have pointed the other one out. Good. Thanks, buddy. Good work. You threw it out in there. Good job, buddy. Thank you.
Love that stuff. That was impressive. Jackson Dart, as the kids would say, was cooking there. Head coach Brian Dable, his staff loved it. Those videos are so cool because it takes you inside the draft room, what they're thinking, making the prospects think on their feet. I love seeing that stuff. Your reaction to just what he's able to do in that room to impress them, because I know you're out here on our big screen and you're breaking down plays. How difficult is that when you're in a room like that up against the NFL front office and you're talking to a head coach and you're trying to impress them?
Well, it's a job interview, and you kind of want to make sure these guys understand what they're getting, and you want to impress. It can be a little bit nerve-wracking, but as a starting quarterback at a Power 4 program, you're kind of used to the spotlight. You're kind of used to the situations being a little bit tense. So I'm not surprised that he went there and did that. Most quarterbacks can do that because you have to know everything as a quarterback. You got to know what everybody's responsibility is. So your recall is going to be tremendous. What worries me about Dart has nothing to do with what we just saw in the video, because all that stuff is unquestioned. It's about how he does in situational football when the game is on the line versus pressure of the moment, pressure of the situation. And that stuff we won't know until the actual live game starts. But I do like this for him because I pulled up my scouting report from Matt Corral and my scouting report this year from Jackson Dart, and they're very similar. So in my eyes, if I zoom out a little bit, I'm like, okay, if I had the same grade and the same strengths and areas of improvement for both guys, then maybe it's the system that they're coming out of, because we're seeing Matt Corral struggle in the UFL trying to grasp what's going on in terms of things changing post-snap. Dart has the ability now to sit behind a Jameis Winston and a Russell Wilson, not be thrown into the fire. He's not competing for the starting job, so maybe he has a chance